All right, everybody, good evening. This is Bronson's By Any Means Necessary Fantasy Football Talk for November 30th, Tuesday, November 30th, 2021. This is the last video of the month. We're moving into December, moving into the last month of the year, obviously. Holiday season, crazy. 2021 is flying by. I consider this a pretty good week for waivers. I've taken care of my important leagues. Now I just have to do my less important leagues if I'm even gonna bother with waivers. I'm feeling pretty good for even though I worked 13 straight hours today and didn't get a break between jobs. Really didn't eat a whole lot of lunch either. I actually got just a chicken Cobb salad for lunch and didn't even finish it. And what else was I gonna say? Yeah, I worked 13 hours, slept 5, went to bed at 9:30. Got up at 3. So yeah, about 5.5. Woke up sporadically throughout the night, so I'm feeling pretty good. I'm a little tired. Like I could probably go to bed now and fall asleep just fine, but I'm gonna stay up. Do this video. Maybe watch some Netflix. I think I want to start a new show. Try and finish my waivers and all that stuff. And post this video. So also I'm gonna eat some dinner. I got some leftover Thanksgiving stuff that I'm gonna scarf on. But yeah, let's get to it. Not a whole lot to say today. Well, all that stuff. Though I do want to quickly say that a couple sports-related things in non-football. Robbie Ray signing with the Mariners is pretty cool. He's the reigning AL Cy Young winner. Do I think he's gonna continue to pitch as good as he did last year? Probably not. He never did before. But do I think he's a good pickup and we got him from fairly cheap? Yes, I'm actually. Finally, for the first time in a long time, first time as a child, I am excited for a Mariners baseball season in 2022 for sure. I'm excited, and we just need to get a little bit more pitching because Yusei Kikuchi isn't good. Chris Flexen had a pretty good year last year, but I'm not convinced he's going to be able to keep that up. Marco Gonzalez is decent, but he's he eats innings. He's a decent starter, but he's not by no means an ace. And Logan Gilbert looked really good as a rookie, but he's going to have ups and downs as he's still young. And he's going to be on an innings limit for the next 2 or 3 years, most likely. Anyway, so it would be nice to add another decent starting pitcher. But, yeah, excited for Mariners 2022 season. And these coaching changes in college football are shocking. Like, Oklahoma has a better job than USC. So why is Lincoln Riley leaving Oklahoma now for USC when he's getting all these NFL he flirts with the NFL every offseason. Oklahoma's not moving to the SEC for 4 more seasons, I think, 3-4 more seasons. So he still had time to try to get over the hump there in Oklahoma. I think Lincoln Riley's a good coach. He's young, talented, good offensive mind. I think he's a little overhyped. He has yet to win a playoff game, okay, but he does get there, unlike USC. He hasn't developed a quarterback. I mean, he's taken some older quarterbacks like Mayfield, Murray, Hurts, turned them into stars. But they were already kind of developed. They just needed some tweaking. Lincoln Riley was able to do that, turn them into stars. But when he had his opportunity to develop his own quarterback this season, Spencer Rattler, that was an epic fail. So the jury's still out on whether he really is a QB guru or not. And what else was I going to say? I had one more thing I wanted to say about that. Oh, he has never built a program either. Oklahoma, he took over an already loaded Oklahoma program from Bob Stoops and I wouldn't say he really improved it, but it didn't fall off the rails because Oklahoma is one of the top 5 college football programs in America, and has more historic relevance than even USC. So I think he's taking a downgrade here. I don't know what he's doing, but obviously USC made him an offer he couldn't refuse. He bought both of his houses in Oklahoma, which I don't understand why you have 2 houses in the same little town in Oklahoma. Like, rich people have multiple houses in different areas of the country or the world, not 2 in the same little college town in Oklahoma. That's a little shady to me. I think he had a wife, and I don't even know if he's married, but he had a wife and a girlfriend in both of those houses, I'm guessing. But yeah, and Brian Kelly to LSU, like, I always knew Brian Kelly wasn't going to stay at Notre Dame forever, even though he did seem like a perfect marriage. I knew Brian Kelly was going to, take a bigger job, NFL job at some point. LSU though, he's not a Southern guy. He's never coached in the South. I'm not going to bet against him though. LSU is one of the top 5 college football jobs in the country right now. They paid him a lot of money. Brian Kelly's really successful. He knows how to recruit. He knows how to coach. He knows how to get the right staff. He's going to get the right people there, the right players there now at LSU. LSU's going to be just fine with Brian Kelly. It's just, I don't know why Brian Kelly would want to have to go face Nick Saban, Jimbo Fisher, Lane Kiffin, and eventually Oklahoma and Texas on a regular basis every single year. But at the end of his career, I guess he's trying to win some national titles, and LSU is going to give him every opportunity to do that. All right, took a lot more time than I thought it was going to take, and I apologize. I'd like to get through these waivers as quick as possible because I got other things I want to do with my night before I fall asleep. So I got 15 waiver priorities for you to focus on this week in your waivers tomorrow morning. Obviously, again, as always, I want to remind you, these are players that are available in more than 50% of leagues. So every league is going to be different. You're going to have some waiver wires are going to be a little bit more loaded than others. Whatever the case is, prioritize. There's going to be better players available. You should probably go get them if they're available, right? But these are just guys that are going to be widely available that you should have an opportunity to get. We're going to start with the quarterbacks. Carson Wentz makes this list again. I don't want to be a broken record. I don't want to be redundant. Carson Wentz definitely redeemed himself last week against Tampa. He had over 20 fantasy points. He had over 300 yards. 300 yards passing. He had 3 touchdown passes. And now he's facing another bad. Not that Tampa's a bad defense. Tampa's a good defense. Tampa just has flaws in their secondary for sure that Carson Wentz was able to attack, as I said he would. Now he's facing just a bad team overall in Houston. Carson Wentz should have another big day. A couple other quarterbacks to consider. Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is looking like it's going to be a Taysom Hill week in New Orleans here on Thursday. Taysom Hill is a poor man's Cam Newton when Cam Newton was good in his prime. So Taysom Hill, much better fantasy quarterback than real life quarterback. Taysom Hill, if you're looking to stream this week, because you have, let's see, who's on bye? It's week 13. There's teams on bye. I just can't remember who they are right now. Carolina, Cam Newton, yeah. But if you're looking for a quarterback, just to stream a quarterback for the week, whatever the case may be, Taysom Hill is probably your best option. And again, Jimmy Garoppolo makes this list. Jimmy Garoppolo has been quietly very, 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 very good over the last 5+ weeks. He hasn't thrown an interception in 6 weeks. Yes, last week he looked a little off against the Vikings, but they still got the win. He still had a decent day. I think the absence of Deebo Samuel isn't going to hurt him as much as we think it will, because Deebo Samuel for the last few weeks has been getting a lot of work out of the backfield, getting a lot of rushing touchdowns, vulturing touchdowns, passing touchdowns from Jimmy Garoppolo. Now he's going to be forced to have to throw the ball to guys like Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Trent Sherfield, whatever other options are out there. Jimmy Garoppolo, I think his passing yards are going to go up, and he's going to become even more valuable. Tight ends, I got two for you. Fabian Moreau, who's going to be the fill-in spot starter for Darren Waller of the Raiders. Fabian Moreau, in limited opportunities in the past, filling in for Darren Waller, has looked very good. There's no reason to believe that will not continue this week if you're looking for a tight end spot start to replace the guys that you have on bye, guys that are hurt, whatever the case may be. Dan Arnold, if you were riding the Dan Arnold wave over the last few weeks, that was moderately successful. He's now out for the season. You're going to be needing a replacement, right? So Baby Moreau is going to be your best option, most likely. And then Cole Kmet of the Bears, with Andy Dalton, him and Andy Dalton seem to have a pretty good connection. So as long as Andy Dalton is out there throwing passes for the Bears, Cole Kmet is going to be I don't know if I'd call him a streamer, but he's someone that we should, be watching. Someone maybe we should be adding to our bench to see how he progresses through these next couple of weeks. He could be very useful to us in the playoffs, and more importantly, he could be more useful to you on your bench than in someone else's lineup, right? So, wide receivers only got 3 for you. It's a very heavy running back week. We'll get to that at the end. Wide receivers, though, my number one wide receiver for the week is Russell Gage. I know there's not a whole lot of upside there. He's really, honestly, not that talented. The Falcons' offense just isn't very good without Calvin Ridley. But Russell Gage is in the weekly flex conversation because he is the de facto number one target for the Falcons. He did have a decent week last week. That makes his case even stronger for this week. He's in the wide receiver 4. In some leagues you used to have to start 3. So he's in the conversation as a guy that you may consider adding. I think he's going to be the most consistent option on this list of wide receivers here. Next, you got Kendrick Bourne, who I just did not know that he was from Portland. He's from right here in Portland. Kendrick Bourne has really been coming on for the Patriots lately. He seems to be, him and Mac Jones seem to have some chemistry. So Kendrick Bourne is someone that we need some wide receiver depth, or we're looking for, a spot start for this week. Kendrick Bourne is probably one of the better options you're going to find. And lastly, Van Jefferson is finally starting to live up to the potential there with the Rams without Robert Woods. Van Jefferson is another guy with a lot of upside in a very good offense. I don't know what's going on with the Rams right now. I talked about that yesterday, but I think they're going to figure it out. Still going to be dangerous offensively. Still going to be dangerous come the playoff time. Still going to be dangerous down the stretch. Van Jefferson is someone that we should be adding to our roster to see how it plays out for him. Now for the running backs. I got 7 running backs, a whopper of running backs where it's a great running back week, especially if you're needing to handcuff someone who's injured. So it's cuffing season if you are looking for running back. Starting with the handcuffs, Alex Madison. He's going to be everyone's number one waiver wire pickup this week if he's available. He's hovering around the 45% range. I tried to hold on to him as many leagues as I could. Not because I don't want to say that I'm pessimistic or negative or but I am a Vikings fan. I am realistic. Dalvin Cook is very talented. I love Dalvin Cook. When he's healthy, he's probably the most dynamic running back in the NFL. I'm not saying he's the best running back, but he's the most dynamic. Like, he's the most shifty. He's the guy that could break a big, 60-yard touchdown run at any time. He's like, I'm not comparing him to Barry Sanders here, but he's like Barry Sanders-esque. And so he's very exciting to watch. Like the kid, but he's injury prone. That's a fact. And Madison has been very good. Madison should be a starting running back somewhere next year, or even in Minnesota if we can, trade Dalvin Cook, because Madison's a lot cheaper and a lot more durable. That's a conversation for another time. So Madison is going to be everyone's number one waiver priority if he's available in your league. Another handcuff, Jamal Williams of the Lions, is very close to the 50% threshold. He's going to rise way above that. He's been hovering around that 50% threshold pretty much all season. This will be the week he rises above that because DeAndre Swift, I know he's listed as questionable right now, which is causing me some problems. I got Dalvin Cook and DeAndre Swift as questionable. I need one of them to get ruled out very soon so I can move them to IR and fill their spot. Otherwise, I'm going to miss out on any quality options in a couple of leagues. Any quality replacement options in a couple of leagues for them. But Swift is most definitely going to be out this week. Jamal Williams is going to be the primary ball carrier in that game. Next, I guess that's all the handcuffs, except I want to talk about Kene Nwangwu real quick. He's going to be the Vikings' backup running back this week. He's also very dynamic, very explosive. He could break off a 100-yard rush anytime. We saw him with the kickoff return last week. I'm really excited about Kene Nwangwu. He's one of the fastest players in the league. I think he's going to have a little bit of a role this week, and he could get only 5 touches, but he could do a lot of damage with those 5 touches. So I'm putting him on this list as being a little bit of a homer this week. Kene Nwangwu. Now moving on to the non-handcuffs, but still decently relevant running back options. Matt Breida is kind of coming out of nowhere for the Bills. He's going to be a hot waiver wire pickup after Thursday's game last week. Tevin Coleman is the top running back for the Jets. I know that doesn't mean much. He hasn't been super productive. He's been basically Myles Gaskin, getting 15 plus carries and doing absolutely nothing with them. But 15 plus carries is 15 plus carries. Maybe this will be the week he does something with it. Rex Burkhead. Rex Burkhead is looking like the most relevant running back in Houston, which, again, not saying a whole lot. But, I thought I had a Bumble match there real quick. I had a Bumble alert. Not the case. Nobody likes this face. Rex Burkhead of the Texans has been getting a lot of touches in the last few weeks. So that puts him on the map, at least for depth purposes, or desperation spot start if you're hurting at running back like I am. I'm not gonna lie. I'm hurting at running back in a few vital leagues this week. So I may be picking up Rex Burkhead myself. And Philip Lindsay of the Dolphins. I really think Philip Lindsay is the most talented running back the Dolphins have. They gave him 12 carries right off the bat with very limited practice time, right off waivers. I know Myles Gaskin did get a couple of touchdowns last week, but the fact of the matter is Myles Gaskin still sucks balls. Philip Lindsay is a better running back than him. As Philip Lindsay gets more reps, more practice time, and learns the playbook better, I think he's going to be the guy for the Dolphins, which, that may not be saying much either. But the Dolphins are really hot right now. They might squeak their way into playoff contention. Philip Lindsay, again, I think is the best running back the Dolphins have on the roster. So I'd be looking to add him. And he could be useful as soon as this week, but he'll definitely be useful, I believe. No facts here. I can't see the future, but I think he's going to be much more useful to us in week 14 and into the playoffs. So if you want to look ahead, if you can afford to look ahead, Philip Lindsay is a great bet. So, all right, this video is longer than I planned. They always do, because I just love to hear myself talk, I guess. I think people, want to hear me talk, but I don't know. It's also good therapy for me. It's kind of like a video diary. It's a video diary / I get to talk about things I'm passionate about. So it's good for me, even if I don't end up getting famous or getting much following for this. I enjoy it. It's for me more than it's for anybody else. But I do hope that those who do watch and those who follow do find some use from the information that I'm providing. So I'm gonna get off here now. I'm gonna go eat, chill, watch some Netflix, possibly finish my waivers. I really don't know. Like I said, I already did the important leagues. The other free leagues, like, whatever, don't matter that much. But I'm competitive. I want to win, so I probably will. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'm gonna end this right around 20 minutes, and hopefully it posts sooner than my video from yesterday. It didn't post till freaking 7 a.m. this morning when I posted it, so it took like 12 hours. But hopefully this one's faster. So peace, love, and nacho fries.